Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to show you how to use the accordion block in Squarespace. I'll show you how you can add an accordion block to your website, how you can customize the text and the titles, and also how you can format what it looks like so that it's on brand for you. If you haven't already got a copy of my Squarespace website checklist, I'll leave a link to it in the description box below. It's completely free to download and you can follow through all the back-end steps that you need to take before you launch your website. So this is what an accordion block looks like. You have your title text just here, and then you can click on the plus icon and that title will expand and you'll have some description text that goes underneath. And then you can close that description up by clicking on the minus icon here. And that's the same for all your accordion items that you have. When you first add an accordion block, by default it will come up with 3 items, but you can add more and make the accordion as tall as you like. So let me show you how to do that now. I've got a blank section here on my website, and let's just come out of preview mode and go to edit mode. So just here in the top left, I'm going to click add block and I'm going to select accordion. And you can see that I've got my accordion block here and it's come up with the default 3 items. And there's lots we can do to customize this, not just with the content, but with how it looks as well. So let's go through all of that now so we can personalize it to us. So the first thing we can do is we can actually change the size of this. So we can drag the content block across. So we've made that a lot wider now. So if we click onto the accordion block and then click on this pencil icon, this is where all the main editing is in how we can change it. So let's click on the pencil. And the first tab we have here is content. So this is where we can actually change the titles and the description that comes when we expand. So you can see we've got accordion item 1, 2, and 3. And if we click on accordion item 1, we've got the option to change our title, so we can change that to whatever we want. So title goes here and our description text goes here. And you can see as I've clicked into that, I've got a few more options here. So I can highlight some of the text and make it bold or italic. And you can see over here, it's actually changing as I format it. I can underline things and I can even attach a link here if I wanted to. So I could link to another page on my website, or I could link to absolutely anything, another website if I wanted to. So there's lots of options here. I can also add a bullet point list if I wanted to, or a numbered list. So there's lots of things I can do here. Let's just add a bit more text. And that's how we can change the content. And then we can click out of here and click back, and then we can go ahead and change the content for the accordion item 2 if we wanted to, or the accordion item 3. And then if we wanted more accordion items, you can add an item here at the bottom and you can see new items appeared, and it's appeared over here on my website. So just as with the other ones, I can click into it and I can change the title and the description if I wanted to. If I wanted to delete an accordion item, you just need to click on the red dustbin over here, and that gets rid of an accordion item. So you can take things away, you can add things as you need to. Now let's look at the design. So we'll look at the fonts and the styling and see how we can customize that. So if you click over here onto the design tab, currently we can see we've got our title is pulling in a heading 4 font. If you don't understand what a heading 4 font is, I have got another video that explains how to set your font styles in the back end of Squarespace. So I'll link that into the description box below, and you can go ahead and watch that to see how you can set your heading and paragraph fonts. So currently this is pulling in a heading 4, which is the smallest heading, but we can click into that. And if you click on the down arrow next to style, we can change that to a heading 1, and then that would go crazy big, or a heading 3. And that's just a little bit bigger than heading 4, or we can even change it to a paragraph style font if we wanted to. So depending on the look that you're going for, you can change the font there. You can also change the alignment. So there I've centrally aligned it and you can see the text now is in the center, or I can right align it and you can see the text has now gone over to the right. So there's lots of formatting we can do here. Now, if we click out of here, so that's the title. Just in the same way, we can have a look at the description text. So if we click into that, currently that's pulling in a paragraph 2 style, but we can change that to a paragraph 1 if we wanted it to be a bit bigger, or a paragraph 3 if we wanted it to be a bit smaller. We can also change the width of the description. So currently it's set to a medium, but we can make that small and narrow, or we can make it really long so it takes up the whole content block just there. And actually, if I make my content block a bit smaller, then it'll be easier for you to see the formatting. Or you can click on the 3 dots here and you can give that a custom width. So again, based on the look that you were going for, there's lots of flexibility here for customization. The next thing you can customize is the padding of the description. So currently it's got medium padding, but we can have small padding, and you can see that the line underneath has just jumped up slightly. If we go back to medium, the line has jumped down, or you can have lots of padding and give the text lots and lots of room there. And again, if you click on the 3 dots, you can customize that even further. So you've got top padding for the description, you've got right padding, you've got bottom padding, and left padding. Okay, so that's the description. The next thing you can choose to do is expand the first item just as a default. So if we toggle that on, your accordion will appear like this with the first item already opened. So again, if you wanted to have people definitely read the description there, that's a good option. Or you can toggle that off, or you can allow multiple items to be open. Now the dividers, again, depending on the look that you're going for, you can change whether this line here at the top appears, or the middle lines appear, or the bottom line appears. So if we go back into edit mode and go into the dividers section, you can choose to not show the dividers, or you can choose to just switch off the first and the last, and you have this kind of look. So there's lots and lots of customizations you can make to this accordion block. You can even change the icon that appears here. Currently that's a plus. You could change it to a downward arrow. So that's a downward arrow now. And then if that gets expanded, it changes to an upward arrow to collapse it back again. And you can change the icon size. So currently that's set to small, but you can have the icons a lot bigger. You could even go crazy big if you wanted to. And the icon thickness, which is also currently set to small, but you can have the icons appear a lot thicker. You can change the icons. They were on the right, but you can change them over to the left if you wanted to. And then there's the row padding as well. So you can have your accordion be really narrow or medium, or you can have lots and lots of space between the items. So depending on the look that you're going for, you can play around with how you want this to appear. You can also change the background. So currently it has no background, but if you toggle that on, you can see we've now got a box around it, and the background color is this off-white. You can change the color by clicking here. So I could change that to black if I wanted to. I could change it to bright pink if I wanted to. And then you can also have a box appear around with the stroke. So currently the stroke color is the same as the background, so we can't see it. If we change it to black, so there we've now got a line that appears around the accordion, and that really, really does make it stand out from the background of this section. And then you can also, because we've got a background on this now, you can change the corner radius of that, so you can round the corners. So if we just put in a 50 for all of them, you can see how, again, that will change the look of this accordion. You can change the stroke thickness over here, so you can make it thin, you can make it really thick. So that's it. There's lots of different options there to customize how your accordion looks. And as with any other block in Squarespace, you can just click and hold and drag that to wherever you want to place it. And you can see with all the customizations we've made, it looks very different to the default one that would appear normally. So that's how you can customize it. So now let me show you some ways that you could use the accordion block on your website. So the most common way that I see it being used is as an FAQ section. So you can just have your questions as the title, and then you can expand to have your answers. And it's quite nice to, if you've got lots of FAQs, it's quite nice to just stack them, you know, a few on this side and a few on this side, and make them symmetrical. So that's a nice way of doing things. You could also use them in a services section. So if you've got 3 or 4 services, you could have them as an accordion. Your service name would be the title, and then you could expand to have a bit more of a description. So that's a nice way of using the accordion. And then if you are a service provider and you have some very kind of specialist areas or areas of expertise, you could talk about them and you could expand them here. Or if you use a certain method in your services, you could go into, why you use the method and give your reasons here. It's just a really, really nice way of breaking up a lot of text into a digestible way. And it allows your site visitors to see things at a glance because they can see the titles. But also if they wanted to know a bit more and if they wanted to dig a bit deeper, they've got the option to expand and read further about you and your services. So that's it. That's all about the accordion block in Squarespace. So that's it for the accordion block in Squarespace. If you found this video helpful, please remember to give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any further Squarespace tutorials. I'll leave a link to my Squarespace website checklist in the description box below. Be sure to grab your copy of that today. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you all the best with your website.